You've probably had this moment before. You question something, but then you stop yourself. Maybe I'm overthinking. Maybe I should just accept it. And slowly, curiosity fades. But what if that hesitation isn't natural? What if the way you think today was shaped long before you were born? And what if the method you use to understand truth was quietly built centuries ago by people you've never even heard of? 2. Problem deep dive. You live in a world full of information. Endless opinions, endless claims, endless certainty, visual, person scrolling on phone late at night, and somewhere inside, you feel this quiet confusion. You want to think clearly, but everything feels noisy, so you do what most people do. You rely on what feels right, or what everyone else believes, or what sounds confident enough. And slowly, your thinking becomes reactive, not intentional. You stop asking, is this true? And start asking, does this feel true? That shift is subtle, but it changes everything. Because your brain is designed for efficiency, not accuracy. In cognitive psychology, this is called heuristic thinking. Your brain uses shortcuts. It prefers fast answers over correct ones. Familiar ideas over uncomfortable ones. Visual, branching paths, one glowing brighter. So instead of investigating reality, you start navigating it through assumptions. And over time, this doesn't just affect your decisions. It shapes your identity. You become someone who either questions everything but feels lost, or questions nothing and feels certain. But really both grounded and curious. And that's the tension, because deep down, you know you want to understand things properly, not just accept them. So the question is, why is that so hard? And more importantly, who first figured out how to actually think clearly? 3. Reframe. Before you assume something is wrong with you, there's something important to understand. Your brain isn't failing, it's protecting you. From an evolutionary perspective, thinking deeply is expensive. It takes energy. It creates uncertainty. It slows you down. So your mind defaults to simplicity. This is not a flaw. It's an adaptation. But here's where it gets interesting. There were people in history who noticed this exact tendency, who realized that human thinking is naturally biased, emotional, and incomplete. And instead of ignoring it, they built systems to work with the brain, not against it. One of them was Ibn al-Haytham. Another was al-Biruni. And they asked a simple but powerful question: what if truth cannot be trusted to instinct alone? 4. Psychological mechanism. Your brain works like a prediction machine. It constantly tries to guess what's true, based on past experience. This is known in neuroscience as predictive processing. Visual, abstract brain animation forming patterns. Instead of seeing reality directly, you see a version of it. Filtered, compressed, interpreted. Now imagine this like a lens. A slightly distorted lens. If you never question the lens, you assume the distortion is reality. This is where early scholars made a breakthrough. Ibn al-Haytham challenged the idea that vision is passive. He argued that seeing is an active process, that your mind constructs what you perceive. And more importantly, he insisted that observation alone is not enough. You must test it, repeat it, question it. This became the foundation of what we now call the scientific method. But psychologically, it's something deeper. It's a system designed to override your brain's natural biases. Here's a simple mental model. Your brain is a storyteller. The scientific method is an editor. The storyteller creates meaning quickly. The editor slows it down and asks, is this actually true? Without the editor, you live in narratives. With it, you move closer to reality. But knowing this isn't enough, because your brain will still default to shortcuts. So the real question becomes, how do you train your mind to think this way? 5. Practical framework. Not through motivation, but through structure. Here are 4 principles, inspired by early scholars and grounded in modern psychology. 8. Separate observation from interpretation. What to do when something happens, describe only what you see, not what you think it means. Why it works, your brain automatically attaches meaning to events. This is called automatic cognition. By separating observation from interpretation, you interrupt that process. Example, instead of, they ignored me, you say, they didn't respond to my message. Visual, notebook with 2 columns. This small shift reduces emotional distortion and brings clarity. Though, use repetition to test beliefs. What to do, don't trust a single experience. Look for patterns. Why it works: your brain overvalues recent or intense events. This is known as the availability bias. Repetition forces your mind to gather broader data. Example: one bad interaction doesn't mean someone dislikes you, but 5 consistent patterns might. This is exactly how early scholars approached truth. Not through one observation, but through consistent verification. Team: assume you might be wrong. What to do: actively look for evidence that contradicts you. Why it works: your brain suffers from confirmation bias. It seeks information that supports existing beliefs. By reversing this, you create cognitive flexibility. Example: if you believe, "I am bad at learning," look for moments where you learn something successfully. Visual: person pausing, thinking. This weakens rigid identity patterns. 4. Slow down the thinking process. What to do: delay your conclusions. Give your mind time. Why it works: psychologist Daniel Kahneman described 2 systems: fast thinking, intuitive; slow thinking, analytical. Most mistakes come from relying only on the first. Slowing down activates deeper reasoning. Example: before reacting to criticism, wait. Let the emotional response settle. Then analyze. These steps may feel small, but they do something powerful. They shift you from reacting to examining, from assuming to understanding. And over time, they reshape how your brain processes reality. Integration. All of this comes down to one idea. You are not just thinking. You are interpreting your thinking. Visual: mirror reflecting a person. Early scholars understood this. They didn't try to eliminate human bias. They built systems around it. Systems that slow the mind, test reality, and refine truth. So instead of asking, "How do I think better?" you ask, "How do I check my thinking?" That question alone changes everything. Because it turns your mind from a passive receiver into an active investigator. 7. Quiet empowering close. You don't need to become a scientist, or a philosopher, or an expert. You just need to notice how easily your mind fills in gaps, and how rarely it questions itself. Visual: empty room with sunlight slowly moving. The people who shaped modern thinking weren't smarter in a magical way. They were simply more patient with truth. They allowed uncertainty to exist long enough to understand it. And maybe that's the shift. Not to think more, but to think more carefully. Because the moment you stop blindly trusting your thoughts is the moment you begin to truly see. And once you see clearly, you don't just understand the world better, you understand yourself.